Right, it does seem like we are getting ready to send out our first horse. Once again, this is John Toomey, hailing from Australia, riding the South African Just Jasper. And Just Jasper, really 14 years old, that does not stop this Irish sport horse as he rears to go out of the start blocks and on towards number 1, the log pile. They pop over there and then make their way on towards the roller at 2. They've gone over the rollers and now make their way on towards number 3, the Wow Jump. Big jump there for John and Just Jasper. So they now make their way uphill towards the red and white house at number 4. Just Jasper and John Toomey now making their way on towards the roller combination. Into the water and out over the crocodile they go, as they now head on towards number 9, where they double back on towards the Bambas Bar. So what we were talking about earlier was that this is definitely the longer format. I'm sure you can see, as from the previous class, this is definitely a lot longer for the horses and rider. So they really have to make sure that they keep that pace, but leave enough in the tank in order to complete the track. They now go uphill towards the grey skinny combination at 10A and B. Right, so John Toomey and Just Jasper clear over the grey skinny combination, and currently out onto track is Jessica George and Bella Georgia. They currently lie in 6th place with 36 penalties on the nose. They're going to move quite quickly through the track, currently moving downhill towards number 5, the skinny, after having gone over the red and white house. So maybe after seeing Bella Georgia and Jessica George go around the first bit of this track, you can see why she decided to keep Bella instead of taking King of the Castle from her dad. So obviously she's produced this horse herself, so she's wanting to make sure that they go around well. You'll see there again reverting to the safety seat as Bella Georgia jumped quite large over the logs downhill, as they now pop over the log uphill. In the distance, we can see John Toomey and Just Jasper making their way on towards number 15 and 16. The pencils and fallen log. They've done a lovely job over the pencils. And big jump over the fallen log. So they now take the tight turn to go down towards 17 and 18, the Trakehner to roller. Jessica and Bella Georgia having gone clear through the Northern Farms water, heading uphill towards Bambas Bar at number 9. Just Jasper and John Toomey, a very big jump over the rollers at 18. At 19A and B. As Bella George heads on towards the grey skinny combination, and our current South African champion goes up and on towards the skinny at number 5. This is number 58, Hilton Ford, riding Sir Gallagher. They currently lie in 8th place with 37.6 penalties after the dressage. Sir Gallagher, affectionately referred to as George, is known for being very quirky with tons of attitude and even more energy. And that energy just seems to never run out. So currently for a long format, he is absolutely the perfect horse to have. And Hilton joking that if only Eskom could harness his energy, South Africa would have enough power to keep the lights on all the time. So they've just gone over the log uphill and are about to come through the Northern Farms water to the Crocodile outer water. So they pop through there, take a tight turn, and head up to Bambas Bar. Coming up to the new angle stirrup is John Toomey and Just Jasper. Just a bit of a cat leap over there, as they now have to regain their composure for the brush into water. Jasper really making John earn the ride. So they now pop over the upright out of water and head on towards the rollers. Bella George in the meantime having gone over the table at 14. Heading on towards the pencils and fallen log. Lovely big jump over the pencils and heading on to the fallen log. As Sir Gallagher and Hilton Ford clear over the grey skinny combination at 10A and B, heading on towards the Trakehner at 11. Our next competitor going under starters orders is number 61, Quinton George. This is Jessica George's dad, riding King of the Castle. So you can see that apart from the normal competitive nature that we have as eventers, sometimes it helps that father and daughter compete and see who could come out on top. John Toomey and Just Jasper, having gone over the home at last, have finally made it through the finish. And I'm sure Jasper would probably actually be able to go again if asked to. Bella George and Jessica in the meantime coming up to number 19A and B, the corner combination. So they pop over the first and second. A lovely ride there for Jessica as they now head downhill towards the Trakehner 20. Hilton Ford and Sir Gallagher not entirely too far behind them. They've popped over the pencils. And a beautiful forward ride over the fallen log as they turn to go to the Trakehner at 17. It seems as if Bella George and Jessica have had a refusal at the Trakehner at 20, so they'll have to turn to represent. This is eating into their time. So the other added advantage for going clear is that you don't get additional time penalties. However, if you stop, you do get them. Sir Gallagher, lovely ride over the rollers at 18 as they now make their way on towards the corner combination. As they present to the first, lovely jump and popping over the second, heading downhill to the Trakehner, just as Bella George and Jessica Lovely ride through the drop to corner. At 22 A and B, they now come back into our line of sight towards the new angle stirrup. Forward ride there for Jessica as they now turn to go to the brush into water. Lovely ride in, straight through the water. And out over the upright out as they make their way on towards the roller at 26. Number 58, Sir Gallagher and Hilton Ford, clear down the drop to the corner and making their way around to the new angled stirrup. Very nice ride into the stirrup as they take the inside line to the brush. Popping over there into the water. And out over the upright out, just as Bella George goes through the finish after going the home at last. And Sir Gallagher makes their way downhill to the roller. Sir Gallagher clear over the roller as they now canter uphill to the last fence, the home at last. Just as Quinton George and King of the Castle go out onto track. They go out onto track with a total of 36.7 penalties after the dressage. There were literally 7.7 penalties behind his daughter on Bella Georgia. So now with her having a refusal out on track, he may be able to breathe a little bit easier if it comes to the father-daughter competition. However, he's still got ground to make up in the class itself. He's just gone over the wow jump at number 3 and now head uphill towards the red and white house at 4. King of the Castle clear over the red and white house. They now have to go all the way around and then down to go to the skinny at number 5. Clear over the skinny, they now have to cover that ground as they move downhill towards the log downhill and the log uphill. So King of the Castle is currently another thoroughbred out on track out of Rebel King. He is 12 years young and is quite a tough horse, but he absolutely loves his job. He's a very big jumper with lots of heart, and as Quinton would say, his money is on him for this weekend as he's got what it takes to be a proper champion. But it's not always about what he's done, it's what he's going to do. So this horse has obviously got great things ahead of him. And hopefully we'll see him in the 2-star not too far in the future. They've gone through the water and out over the crocodile, out of water. So they now turn to go round. And all the way uphill to the Bob Spa. So currently Quinton's goal for himself and King of the Castle is to be up to the 4-star in 2023. So that is next year. Looking at the way that he is currently going, it may well be a little bit closer in the future, as the horse seems to have lots of oats and really take every single jump in his stride. They're presenting now to the grey skinny combination at 10A and B. clear over the first and second. They'll now go slightly out of my line of sight towards number 11 and 12, the Trakehner and Log Oxa. Quinton George and King of the Castle back into my line of sight as they make their way on towards 13 and 14, the Steel Corner and Table. So they'll present to the corner. Lovely jump over there, quick tight turn to the right and over the table. Then I've got a lot of ground to cover to get up towards the pencils. Clear over the pencils, they now head on towards the Fallen Log, which is in the bushes there. So they turn, collecting up and popping over there. That is on a drop, so you'll see that the horses do land a little bit heavy. So that's one of the things that a lot of people look for in events is that they're light, they're agile, they're nimble. So that way when you come over any of these things like chicanes off of a bank, or down any drops, the horses got enough energy and spring to get themselves back up and prep for the next jump. So King of the Castle clear over the Trakehner and now presenting to the roller. Beautiful big jump over there as they now head all the way uphill to the corner combination at 19A and B. And just when it was looking so strong, the second element there just catching out King of the Castle and Quinton, as they'll now have to turn to represent. And clearing on second attempt, you probably find what happened there is that they may have gone a little long into the first, so ran out of space for the second, but that is why we then turn to represent, because a lot of the time you show the horse the question again and they go, it's not really that hard. They now come into the Trakehner, lovely jump down there, as they turn to head down towards the picnic table and the drop to corner combination. Having cleared the picnic table, King of the Castle should be coming back into our line of sight. There you go, down the drop and over the corner at 22A and B. Now making their way below the water complex to go to the new angle stirrup. Lovely over there, and they now have to turn and collect to go to the brush and water. We will be having another horse on track shortly. That will be number 62, Daniela Smith and Finato. They go out onto track with a total of 30.1 penalties hailing from the Western Cape. They currently are the leaders of the class. They've gone over the log pile at number 1 and the rollers at 2 as they make their way on towards the wild box at 3. Little standoffish into the wild box, but clear nonetheless, heading uphill towards the red and white house as Quinton George and King of the Castle clear over the second to last, the roller, making their way uphill towards the home at last, the last fence on track. As they pop over that and on towards the finish. Fintano and Daniela Smith, both coming from the Western Cape. As Daniela Smith, this is her first horse of the weekend. Pardon me, the second horse that she's riding this weekend. She had another one in the 95s. So it's quite difficult for our competitors coming from the Western Cape to compete due to the African horse sickness travel restrictions. But for this time of year, it's just a little bit easier. So Daniela really looking forward to competing at Northern Farms again after such a long time. She started riding at the age of 6, and clearly you can see that her passion has shown, because even after having a refusal at the log downhill, she remains composed and turns to represent, taking it anew as they pop over on second attempt and on towards the log downhill. So Daniela still relatively new to the eventing, as she was primarily a show jumper before she moved down to the Cape, and she converted while living down there and has been hooked ever since. So she takes every single course in its stride and goes out to thoroughly enjoy it. Her steed Fintano is a 12-year-old warm blood gelding, and are the current Western Cape champs, as well as the SA Reserve Working Hunter champion. So this is a horse of many talents. As some people call it their heart horse, Daniela would like to refer to him as her unicorn. They've just gone over Burbis Bar and now make their way up towards the Grey Skinny at 10 A and B. Currently, Daniela and Fintano clear over the Grey Skinny combination and are now going out of my line of sight as they make their way on towards the Trakehner at 11 and the Log Ox at 12. So far, they come back into our line of sight as they make their way now on towards the steel corner and the table. They pop over the steel corner and now turning towards the table at 14. Lovely forward ride. And keeping their constant pace, they head all the way uphill towards the pencils. Once again, we would like to take this time to thank our wonderful sponsors here today at Northern Farms and with us tomorrow at the Kyalami Equestrian Park. To Equi Feeds, Karen Lindsay Equine Therapy, New Angle Stirrups, Arco 360, Pam Golding, Balance, Hello Quality Equestrian, Janine Evans, Claire Webb, and B. Dunnies Farriers, the Rubberman Tycoon Tribe, Hatfield Motor Group, who have the cars posted around Northern Farms down at the water jump and by the arenas. Please go and talk to the gents that are below the gazebos at the arena, as well as our main sponsors, Radium and Top Bet. You'll see currently that Daniela and Fintano popping over the Trakehner and Roller at 17 and 18, now heading all the way uphill again to the corner combination at 19 A and B. So you'll remember that previously the second half of this combination caught out King of the Castle, so we'll see how Fintano takes this as he presents to the first. Lovely ride over the first and setting up for the second, no problems at all as they now head downhill towards the Trakehner at 20. So now Fintano going out of my line of sight as they go behind the Weeping Willows. We'll wait to listen from our jump judges that have just confirmed they have gone clear over 21 at the picnic table. So we should see them shortly going to the drop to corner at 22A and B. As they present to the drop, popping down there and quickly over the corner. Lovely ride there for Daniela. As they now turn to go to the new angle stirrup. They had no problems over the stirrup. Lovely controlled ride over the brush into water as they go through the water. And lovely forward jump over the upright out as they make their way downhill to the roller. Just as our next competitor goes out onto track, this is number 63, Claudia Klute, riding Kalaho Lysander, currently in second place, 0.2 penalties behind the leaders, hailing from Gauteng with a total of 30.3 penalties after the dressage. They've just popped over the roller at number 2 and make their way on towards the wow box at 3. Just as Fintano clear over the home at last and on towards the finish. Kalaho Lysander comes from the Kalaho stud. In 2019 they won the Gauteng champs and the KZN champs and then came second in the Western Cape champs. So Claudia really having a lot of faith in this horse as they go up the grades together. So unfortunately, after all of that, COVID happened, and we all know what happened then. We had a lull in shows. So since then, she has broken her leg in that time and is back stronger than ever. They have had some 3-star experience, but have admitted they may need to go back and work on a couple things before they go back there again. So they are back down to the 1-star to get their fundamentals right and make sure that they'll be stronger than ever. So they do like to actually call Lysander a bit of a Houdini because he manages to pull magic out of rabbits and hats. He actually opens his stable door quite often. And for the most part is basically an escape artist. So what Claudia has had to do is put the latch further down the door, which is a little bit unconventional, as most horse riders would know, but it seems to have worked for now. However, he still does jump over his 2-meter tall paddock fence, so that's another thing to try and handle. So right now they're looking really strong coming into the Northern Farms water, popping out over the Crocodile out of water as they now turn to go round past our wonderful camera crew as they now head uphill towards the Bumpers Bar. Just a reminder to all of our competitors that we do have the Gauteng Eventing Champs Social at Bucking Bob's. So if you are looking for your tickets to that, it is 150 rand and you can find the tickets on Quicket. The link is in the program if anyone is interested. So Kalaho Lysander and Claudia Klute coming up to the grey skinny combination at 10A and B. As they pop over the first and the second, now going out of my line of sight and into the bushes towards the Trakehner and Log Oxa at 11 and 12. We would also like this, to take this time to thank our sponsors here today, because we know that without you we would not have been able to run the 2022 Gauteng Eventing Championships. To Top Bet and Radium, Hatfield Motor Group, Hello Quality Equestrian, The Rubberman, Tycoon Tribe, Balance, Pam Golding, Arco 360, Karen Lindsay Equine Therapy, new angle stirrups, equi-feeds and perseverance rosettes, as well as the Kyalami Park Club and Northern Farms Park. If anyone is interested in chatting to the gents from Hatfield Motor Group, you'll see that some of the cars are posted around the water complex and up by the arena, as well as their gazebo, so please take the time and go and chat to the gents sitting there. Kalaho Lysander has just gone over the table at 14, now heading all the way uphill to 19, the pencil and fallen log at 20. Pardon me, 15 and 16. They've cleared over the pencils and now present to the fallen log. They've gone over the fallen log and now have to double back to go to the Trakehner at 17. So Kalaho Lysander is actually a warm blood. He is known for his very striking appearance. He's a very, very, very dark bay with a white blaze right down his face, as well as some white socks. So he's quite the beautiful horse to watch go around in the dressage. Claudia has also competed him in dressage champs and does show jump occasionally. They've just gone over the rollers at 18 and now head uphill to number 19 A and B, the corner combination. Clear over the first and second, making that combination look so easy as they now head on towards the Trakehner at 20. Presenting to the Trakehner, they get a little bit close, which means they have to do more of an uphill jump. But clear nonetheless as they now go slightly out of my line of sight towards the picnic table at 21. They've cleared over number 21, the picnic table, just taking an alternate route to get to the drop to corner at 22A and B. Down the drop they go and over the corner, as they now turn left-handed to go to the new angle stirrup. Lysander clear over the brush into water. Through they go, lovely big strides as they pop over the upright out, make their way on towards the second to lance, the roller. You'll see shortly we'll have our next competitor under starters orders, number 65, Sarah Atchison, riding Jamada Jester. They currently lie in 9th with 39 penalties. Kalaho Lysander clear over the roller at 26 as they make their way uphill towards number 27, just as Jamada Jester goes out onto track. They clear over the log pile at number 1 and now make their way on towards number 2, the roller. Jamada Jester now clear over the wow box. So they make their way uphill towards the red and white house. So Jamada Jester and Sarah Atchison are a combination that have been together for years. They've gone up the grades, and even though Jamada has been there, done that, he's always so eager to go around for Sarah, especially around the country. and is really a horse that you can put your faith in, that he will make a plan. But if you also ask him to go on the long or the short, he's very responsive. So they've just gone over the Skinny at number 5 and now make their way all the way downhill towards the Log downhill at number 6. Lovely ride through the Log uphill and Log downhill. As they go into the water, out over the Crocodile, out. So at the moment we are on our CCI one star. Pardon me, a CCI 2-star format, which is the longer. And once we go through all the long format, we'll go back down to the short. So obviously our horses are a little bit fitter for the longer format because it is a longer track. And our next competitor is out on track. This is Jessica George on her second ride, if I'm not mistaken. This is Wrap Up, which is the thoroughbred we were talking about earlier. They currently come out on track with a total of 35.9 penalties after the dressage, currently lying in 5th place. So although Jessica had a refusal on her first horse, she can still make up for it on the second. I'm not sure if the father-daughter bet extends to Wrap Up as well, or if it was just between King of the Castle and Bella Georgia. They've gone over the Wild Box at number 3, now making their way uphill towards number 4, the Red and White House. Lovely jump over there as they now turn to go downhill towards the Skinny at number 5. So when talking about Wrap Up, Jessica says that she thinks that the best way to describe him is actually from a quote from the movie Secretariat, which is, "Do you give the horse its strength, or cloth its neck with the flowing man? Do you make it leap like a locust, strike terror with its proud snorting? It paws fiercely, rejoicing in its strength, and charges into the fray. It laughs at fear, afraid of nothing. It does not shy away from the sword. The quiver rattles against its sides, along with the flashing spear and lance. In frenzied excitement, it eats up the ground. He cannot stand still when the trumpet sounds." So, having seen Wrap Up under saddle with Douglas Welsh, I would agree that that quote fits him quite perfectly, as this little horse really does cover the ground and sometimes really just makes it look so easy, as they now head uphill towards the Bambus Bar after clearing the Crocodile out of the water at the Northern Farms Water Complex. They've just gone over the Bambas bar and now make their way uphill towards the grey skinny combination at 10 A and B. You can see what we were talking about with these off-the-track thoroughbreds is that they really do cover the ground. And they seem to just come alive out in the country. Wrap up now over the grey skinny combination as they make their way out of my line of sight towards the Trakehner and Log Oxer at 11 and 12. Lovely big jump over the Oxer at 12 as they come back into our line of sight and now head on towards the steel corner and picnic table at 13 and 14. They've just gone over the steel corner and beautiful forward ride over the table. They now cover the ground all the way up towards the pencils. So here you can see the experience of the horse. Okay, I just wanted to be known that was not planned, and that was a gorgeous big jump where he basically just said to Jessica, listen, we're on a bit of a long one, but it's fine. So they've cleared the pencils and the fallen log and are now heading on towards the Trakehner. But as I was saying, you can really see the experience of the horse here as he knows exactly what his job is. And as soon as he is placed, almost locks onto that jump and just takes it in his stride as he goes over that Trakehner and on towards the roller. One might say he may be a little too eager now, as he's really actually cutting out a bit of time by taking off so far away from the jumps. But now Jessica will have to be careful as she comes into the corner combination, because if he jumps too big over the first, you run out of room for the second. So you then have to bring in that composure of setting your horse up over the first and popping over the second. So that may have been a tad bit close, but wrap up again showing that experience and making the plan as they head downhill to the Trakehner, where she had the one refusal on her other horse. Got no problems as they go through. They're going out of my line of sight to go down towards the picnic table at 21. They've gone clear over the picnic table and down towards the drop, not breaking a sweat or a stride as they drop down there and over the corner. They'll now turn to go to the new angle stirrup. Forward over that jump as they come into the brush before water. Getting a little bit close there, but still keeping that forward motion through the water. And out over the upright out as they go on towards the roller. And our next competitor goes out onto track. This is John Toomey on his second ride, number 67, Peridot. They currently lie in third with a total of 31.4 penalties after the dressage. Clear over the log pile at number 1 and lovely jump over the rollers at 2. So an interesting thing about John Toomey is he is actually a 5-star event rider. He has competed with the best of the best and is also a coach who has taken a couple of the riders here under his wing as well. He has been riding since he was 3 years old and eventing for a total of 35 years. And is super excited to run Peridot over the long format. Especially with riding at the Kyalami Equestrian Park venue. As he says that that's one of the best places with the going in the jumping arena and dressage arenas. So Peridot is another Irish sport horse. She is a very reliable partner, and he has ridden her in a couple champs as well as the Eastern Cape Champs 2-star where they won, and the Western Cape's 2-star where they unfortunately just missed out on first place. So they've gone over the skinny at number 5 and now make their way downhill to 6 and 7, the log downhill and log uphill. So they've gone over the log downhill, now going through the bramble bush towards the log uphill. Popping over there and going on towards the water complex. They have a lovely ride through the water there and out over the crocodile as they now make their way uphill to the Brambis Bar. Have a lovely ride over there as they now continue uphill to the grey skinny combination. Peridot, a lovely ride through the grey skinny combination as they now go out of my line of sight towards the Dragana. If I'm not mistaken, Peridot was previously owned by the Georges, ridden by Jessica George. I may stand under correction, where they also rode in the South African Championships. And if I'm not mistaken, Peridot ended 3rd in that specific year. They've come back into my line of sight and just gone over the log oxa at 12. And now make their way on towards the steel corner and the table at 13 and 14. Lovely over the steel corner and the table as they now make their way all the way uphill to the pencils at 15. Lovely jump over the pencils as they now go for the fallen log. And now turning to go towards the Tracana. So you can see here that John Toomey is just guiding Peridot around the course. He is currently still ranked within the top 100 riders for the FEI standings and has done so for 7 consecutive years. So in some cases where Peridot's experience may falter, John Toomey definitely makes up for it. They now come to the double of corners combination at 19A and B. Clear over the first, a little standoffish, which means that he had to ride for the second. They've now popped over the Trakehner and will go out of my line of sight towards the picnic table at 21. They've cleared the picnic table and should be coming down shortly to the drop to corner at 22A and B. Lovely ride down the drop and corner and over the new angle stirrup, a little bit close there. So again, because they were close, they landed closer to the jump. So John Toomey taking the inside line to the brush into water as they go over that, through the water. And he's going to have to get after Peridot a little bit after that last jump because she seems to be standing off a little bit. As they go down and round to the roll top. Clear over there as they now make their way all the way uphill towards the home at last. Popping over there and on towards the finish.